by alone inside. He's got the breakaway with the touch to the right. Goal! Everything you wanted from this debut. It's Brandon by. Taking a shot with the left. Goal! Isaac Frank from 25 yards out. The equalizer. Will Kidd with the touch of the goal. It's a go-ahead goal. Minneapolis City.
This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by Summit Brewing Company.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Oh, wait. That was earlier today when I stayed home with my son on a snow day. This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club. I am John, and alongside me is a late 30s version of the guy from Up, Nate Morales. Nate, there has been a lot of soccering lately this weekend and today with the Champions League. I think I watched like 15 matches in 3 days. Did you partake?
Yeah, I started my weekend watching the most disgusting Arsenal game you could imagine. We got to see a pretty awful Minnesota United game, and today, you're right, the Champions League games were delicious.
Yes, and I totally like just threw a slide dig in there calling you the guy from Up, but you kind of went right past that. So,
it depends on which guy.
The guy with the glasses,
the nice old man.
Yeah,
I guess he's not nice. He is a total asshole. At
right.
first, he has a sad life, John. I don't know if you saw Up.
I mean, I did. You know, he came around in the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I'm excited. We have a busy show tonight. Like, it's one of my favorite kind of shows because it's just gonna be us riffing, and the big topic, of course, on hand is the U23 roster tonight. We are announcing the full roster and doing a little profile on each of the officially and doing a little profile on each of the players. That is cool. So we're gonna run you through the inaugural roster tonight. But before that, last week we concluded the last of 3 trial periods. So John, we'll give an update on how those went. Those trial periods, of course, led to a number of these guys that we're about to announce being on the team. Shall we?
Yes, we shall, Nate.
Nice. So we talked about this before, John. You don't really just snap your fingers and a team appears, although you would probably like to. It takes a lot of time, and now we've got 2 teams to fill full of dudes, the best available dudes. In year 1, of course, you took the approach of kind of putting the collective soccer minds of the organization and of the city together and identifying a solid but younger base of players mixed with a few unknowns from just one open trial. In year 2 last year, we hurried to sign all these existing players that we already had that we liked. You built a recruiting network with the college coaches, which I think has paid off in spades this year. And of course, you had 2 open trials last year. Max Kent, one of the products of those open trials. And then this year, you, like I said, went back to the well. You kind of opened up your Rolodex, your soccer Rolodex, and you started calling those coaches again, making sure that you were maintaining those relationships, talking to them, seeing if they had any guys that you would like to, or that they would like to send your way, and maybe identify other talent that those coaches know. Of course, we also held the Winter Combine for those players, with other identified talent from around the area, and then of the multiple open trials that we've done, 3, I think, right? So as the last one is just in the rearview mirror as of last week, tell us how things went with those open trials. Only one of a few recruiting tools that you had in your toolbox this year.
Sure. Well, Nate, it's been a long off season, I can tell you that. And I really need to take a soccer nap, I guess you could call it. I need a little bit of a break from identifying talent. But I think you really nailed it with your description on how we've gone about player identification. Each year we've tried to kind of build off of what worked and what didn't work from the previous years. But focusing on local talent is hard. You know, at some point the well gets drier, seeing that we have, competing factions in our backyard. And one thing that's been successful is our open trials. It's been consistent since we started, and it really does work. You know, we take some knocks that, we make players players pay for the tryouts, but it's really simple to squash that criticism because the fees for the tryout really just pay for the tryout space because it's not free. We don't have
our own dome somewhere that we can just inflate.
Right, exactly. We don't have like a pop-up soccer. We can't pop up soccer anywhere we want. We have to go to some places established. So I mean that's where the money goes to. It's not a cash grab like some teams have. I don't want to rag on our neighbors. Our bigger cousins to the in St. Paul, but like they have. Minnesota United has a tryout where they charge people, give them a T-shirt, and they're taking no one from those trials.
Yeah, why would they?
Right, exactly, and like. You're giving hope to people for no reason, but we truly do give hope for players that are in the local community, and even some players that are thinking about moving here to become part of this. So if you look back at it, we've taken the roster of both teams, the one that we're going to be getting into, and then the MPSL roster, a total of 12 players in 3 years, and that includes 2 from this past week. So unlike other teams, we do look at this as a way to identify talent.
Yeah, and it's worked out pretty well for us. Like we said, we've identified a few. Of course, a whole roster of great guys this year, but some of the guys from last year that have worked out really well, like Max Kent, were products of these trials. So and of course our developmental guys from last year.
Yep.
Well, we know the anticipation is running high, so let's get right after it. This will take some time, but it's going to be totally worth it. We had U23 head coach Matt Van Benschoten on a few weeks back. He was super hype for the roster that you guys had put together. And as I've kind of looked over it tonight, I can see why I'm really pumped to talk about this. One quick preview I want to say, like, as a fan, I was worried, like, how many of these guys are going to be downgrades or are going to be demoted, I guess, fan favorites. How many young guys that we know are on the team already are going to end up on the U23 roster to maybe make room for some. And I can tell you guys before we start, 0. All of the players on this U23 roster have been unseen so far by City fans in a game. So this will be really cool to get 26 brand new baby players to Minneapolis City. John, let's start with
baby players, something like that. They have like little hands and little feet and like running around in onesies.
Yeah. Let's start with who's going to be minding the net this year for the U23 team.
Well, Nate, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm excited to see some of these big new young guys. That sounds weird.
That sounds real weird. Well, Nate, we took the approach this year of going with 3 goalkeepers for the U23s, and that's not to say that they're not going to get a chance to fight for playing time, and we're going to evenly split things out. We'll figure that out later. But there's also an opportunity for these guys to all the players we're going to mention to make the jump up to the MPSL team as needed. But we have 3 goalkeepers signed for the 23s. First off is Luke Anderson. Luke goes to Drake University. He's a freshman, and he's a product of MTA. And actually, he trained with us last year after the DA season before going off to Drake. So he's a player that the guys in the city clubhouse know. And although he was behind a very impressive senior and did not feature much this season, he possesses incredible size and really great shot blocking ability, and kind of what I call next level instincts. Like he sees things before it's going to happen.
Cat-like speed and reflexes.
Yes, cat-like, very cat-like. So we're excited to have Luke full-time with us, not messing around with that DA bullshit. Just kidding. DA is very important. But with us full-time and not just from a training perspective.
Nice. Next up, we've got, you're going to have to pronounce this name for me, Troy Luegi?
Luegi. It's a hard G.
Oh, okay.
Troy is a sophomore at St. Thomas, and Troy, like Luke, went off to college as a future replacement. So he's seated as next in line to Aiden Hogan, which some of you folks in the city the city club, clubhouse will remember. Aiden actually went with us and played against the Des Moines Menace when we played them last year. And Aiden is an all MIAC and all region selection at St. Thomas. So Troy is like Luke. He's waiting for his opportunity. And Troy's very vocal backstop. He's fantastic at organizing his back line, and saw, like I mentioned, saw limited action at St. Thomas, but in the action he did see flash glimpses of that, again, like that next level type of goalkeeping skills, and most specifically focusing on his shot blocking. So really, really good reflexes for a big guy.
We're going to notice a trend here. We've got Drake, we've got St. Thomas. A lot of these colleges are going to show up a number of times. We're going to be pulling a number of players from these schools. Correct.
Yes.
All right.
You'll be seeing where there's one, there may be many, and that's actually a product of the coaching network that I've kind of reached out to. Is that the coaches who do scout the area, they don't just look at one guy, or they maybe come to look at one guy and find two or three. So so you'll see that there's we're starting to couple some of these colleges together, but there are some outliers as well from guys that have gone off at different schools.
Sweet. Next up, last of the three keepers is Quinn Kiernett.
Yes, Quinn is a senior at Blake High School, and he is going to be attending Bates College in Lewiston, Maine in 2018. Quinn's a little bit of a different story, being that he's still in high school, and this is kind of his gap year for him as he prepares for the next level.
Yeah.
He'll be placed into the system that will allow him to supplement his club soccer with facing shots and training from a stronger, more craftier set of attackers while he fights for playing time against Luke and Troy. So, he'll have the opportunity like the first two that we mentioned to get playing time. But for him, it's getting him into the club and elevating his the level of play that he's going to be facing, which will only benefit him as he goes into college. And it'll prepare him for college soccer, like we've seen it with our field players that have come in, or even like we saw it with Duncan. It's beneficial to have guys coming in and facing against shots from better competition than they're used to. And, I think he's going to be a player who you're going to see grow into the semi-professional game for the future.
Awesome.
All three are, to be honest.
Well, I mean, that's the point of this, right? Is we hope that, at least 75% of these guys are going to eventually end up playing for Minneapolis City at one point.
Right. Hopefully all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, Quinn went to Blake. You mentioned Duncan, just like our favorite weird goalkeeper from season one.
They're all weird. All goalies are weird.
That's true. Duncan was probably one of the weirdest that I've ever met. But I wonder if they know each other. But what's going on with Blake, man? Are they just a goalkeeper academy, or how? It's two
I
good
don't know, man.
coming out of there.
I don't know, man. Hey, I don't really care where they come from as long as they come, right?
What? Okay. Now that we know the guys, who are going to be playing in front of these keepers, who are the back line for this U23 team, John? We've got another Luther product, Luke von Eschen.
Yes. So Luke is from St. Louis Park. He actually played high school soccer with Max Kent. He's a converted midfielder, and much like a very familiar face at City in Kevin Hoof, hard tackling, what you would expect out of a defender, but the vision of a midfielder. And he's also really smart. He was named two-time Iowa Conference Fall Sports All-Academic honoree, carries a GPA of around 3.5 or higher. And he's going to be used across the back line, and we'll likely see him kind of pushing time in the midfield as well as needed. So very much like Kevin Hoof. I mean, I don't know a better way to describe him. Pretty similar build, similar attitude, smart guy, great work ethic, and a good soccer player to boot. The next one, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, that's it. Just saying sweet.
Sweet. The next one is Michael Riley. Michael, or Mike. I call him Mike, but I'm sure he goes by Michael. I'm not right about everything. He's a center back, and he goes to Loyola University. He's a freshman. He's a real hard-nosed central defender who is your prototypical center back. I mean, he's great in the air. He's vocal, and he has the ability to play the ball out of the back with his feet, either to short to a center midfielder to start the attack, or by skipping a level and playing the kind of the deep lying long ball. Before college, he played at MTA and was ranked one of the top 30 players coming out of Minnesota, according to topdrawersoccer.com, which is a very well known kind of recruiting publication that covers college soccer and U.S. national, like youth U.S. national team. So very decorated. Didn't see a ton of playing time his freshman year because like a lot of these guys, they're being set up for replacements for the future. So freshmen and sophomores and even some juniors, might not see a lot of playing time, which is great to have them in with us because they get the ability to get those vital game minutes in the summer.
Yeah. So Loyola, is this the same Loyola that who did we pull from there?
The Gambler, Connor Stevenson.
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah. The reason why I call them the Gambler is one, they are the Loyola Ramblers, and two, when we went to Des Moines last year and we stopped off at a gas station halfway through the trip, he just like bought $100 of scratch offs. So
what?
Yeah.
Just like pulls a hundo out of his pocket, like, fuck it, I'm bored.
The fucking Gambler, man.
All right. So next up, we've got Lauren Altman. He will be what looks like a general defender out of White Bear Lake.
Yes. Lauren is actually a junior in high school, and he is the youngest member of the team. He came to us from our open trial, and boy, are we glad he did. At just 16, he possesses the ability at the next level already, and we're really glad to give him that opportunity to start kind of honing the skills at this level. He for sure is a player that we'll see around City for a few years before he goes off to bigger and better things in the game. But he has size for a 16-year-old, and a lot like Luke Von Eschen, he can play both defensive positions or midfield positions. And this will be a really great opportunity for him to supplement his current, his existing club soccer with Minneapolis City, to learn some different tools that he'll need when he makes it to the next level.
A junior from White Bear Lake, like that, the nuts on this kid to decide he wants to come and go to the Minneapolis City open trial.
Right. I mean, yes. I mean, absolutely, yes.
Like you said, great he did, but that takes some confidence. That's a leap of faith, man.
Well, he came to the open trial that we had during the towards the tail end of preparing for the Open Cup, and we actually invited him out to Open Cup training just to see how he would do against like grown men, and he held his own and he played really well. And there were some drills that he was in that he was the best player in the drill.
Wow.
And we're like, we got to keep this guy in house.
All right. Well, next up, coming from Davidson University in North Carolina, is Tanner Carlson. Yep,
Tanner is a junior, and he's your prototypical City outside back. And when I kind of describe a few of these outside backs, you'll kind of see why. Really great one-on-one defender, but also looks to get into the attack whenever we have the ball, and that's something that we have with all of our outside defenders. He started 9 out of 13 matches in his 2 plus years at Davidson. And he kind of, again, came into a very veteran team in a crowded back line. Yep. So he got minutes and he fought for minutes, but he's another guy that game minutes at this level are going to be crucial for him as he gets ready for college at the end of the summer. And you'll see him running past wingers this summer. That's all I kind of have to say about that. Like he's quick, and he'll get forward and he'll also get back.
All right. Next defender is Josue Batuli. He is from North Central University, which is right in downtown Minneapolis.
Yes, it is. Quick Google search before we started recording told us that.
Well, I drive past it every day. I can't believe that I didn't recognize the name.
Well, now you know it's the home of Josue.
Yeah.
So
Josue.
That's that's good to know. So Josue actually came to us in the last open trial. So this week. So he is one of the 2 that we talked about that we signed from the trial. He's a Togo native via Eagan, Minnesota, and he had an instant impact since joining North Central. He's a freshman, being named all league as a center back in his first year. And he kind of possesses a Trey Benhart or like a Miles Norville type quiet confidence in the back.
All right.
And extremely adept with the ball at his feet. And you kind of couple that with his ability to win balls in the air with his size. He's kind of our prototypical City central defender, and someone that, not only at this U23 level, but, as you see him progress and hopefully, makes a jump into the MPSL roster, a guy who can gobble up those long balls that we see a lot of our opponents kind of throwing at us.
So our next guy is a familiar name from a familiar school. We've got Jake Meyer. the freshman at Indiana University.
Yeah, so Jake, like you said, many people remember he was one of our first development players that we signed when we created the category last year. He featured in many city trainings before he left for his first season in Bloomington at the University of Indiana. A club teammate of Michael Riley from Loyola, so at MTA. And so there'll be some kind of continuity there coming out of going separate ways, but coming in playing together again.
Yeah.
But he redshirted his first year in college, being stuck behind one of college soccer's best central defensive pairings, like 2 Herman Trophy finalists. So he redshirted, and it allowed him to hit the weights and gain some size to couple with his ability to play soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be the perfect place for him because he hasn't played soccer in a while. He's been just going through trainings with Indiana, trying to get ready. But he'll actually be leaving us early around midsummer for an extended training camp. So
we're last year, right?
Same thing as last year. Yep. So we're going to have a smaller glimpse of him, but really glad that he initially wasn't going to be coming back. And one last quick conversation with the coaching staff, it turned things around, and he will be coming back.
Great. Another defender, Donnie Gaumont from UW Parkside. He's a freshman. I got to be honest, I did not know that Parkside was a 4-year school in the University of Wisconsin system. I'm a bad Wisconsin alumni.
Yes, you are. You were in Division III, so this is Division II. So,
okay.
So you get a little bit of a pass. So Donnie's part was part of a pretty stingy defense for the Rangers of UW Parkside. He's very much like Tanner. He loves to get forward, but does so without kind of leaving out his defensive responsibilities, which sometimes you see with guys who like to attack out of the back. So he'll definitely get back and put his defensive shift in as well. And although he possesses those defensive abilities, he can also be kind of a true wing back with kind of plus ability to cross balls in, from the outside, which is also something that we look for. How many times did we see AO or Charlie or Nick or even Abdallah just whip or even Hoof whipping in crosses from the outside. So he's very much in that same mold.
Awesome. Another defender, Matt Murakami, cool name, from Gustavus.
Yes, Matt is senior at Gustavus. Some who know Matt and are listening to this might be wondering why he's listed as a defender in this category, because he played extensively as a midfielder in college. But as is the theme at City, which we've already talked about, we have a soft heart for converted center midfielders.
Yep. Who
show a strong defensive ability. You can just see another Gustavus alumni for that definition in Charlie Adams. But at Gustavus, highly decorated. He was a 2017 MIAC All-Conference, 2017 All-North Region second team, 2016 All-Academic All-Conference, and MIAC All-Conference, and then MIAC All-Academic Conference again in 2015. So
damn.
Smart guy.
This dude's been holding it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Final defender on the roster, another McAllister product, plays alongside Max Kent. That would be Jackson White.
Yes, Jackson was the other player that we picked up from the trial this past week. He's what you want out of an outside back. He makes attacking players really think twice about coming down his side of the field. Super hard tackler, but he also, in college he paired with Max and posted a real impressive 13 goals against this past MIAC season, which that's quite a few less than a goal a game. So definitely part of a stingy defense in college, and hopefully one we'll have this summer. But has a constant motor, and he does have the willingness to go forward, which you can see why we would like him. But he's more of your traditional outside fullback, where he's just going to lock a guy down and do his job, and maybe less on the offensive side unless he really sees a window. So a little bit of a different change of pace to some of the guys that we look for in our outside backs.
Nice. So next up, we want to talk about the guys that are more after your own heart, dudes that pull the strings in the midfield. We'll start with Aiden O'Driscoll. He's a center defensive mid from Luther College, another Luther product.
Super happy to have Aiden with us. And I say that because, like you mentioned, he reminds me a lot of a player that I was at his age, kind of cut from the same cloth as Ian Smith, Steve for the folks at home. And that he possesses, he's a very possession-focused center midfielder. And some might say he doesn't do a whole lot in a match, but that's because he's doing everything right. And that's what you see out of a good defensive center midfielder is like nothing flashy, gets the job done, not going to be in a lot of the highlight reels, but really is someone you can count on to pull those strings. He's a 3-year letter winner at Luther and is the heartbeat of their midfield for them. And he's added some offensive ability to his game, scoring 5 goals and having 2 assists and 41 career appearances. And recently was named Division III Academic All-American this past season.
All right. Next up is Abessa Hamid, another central defensive mid from Augsburg University. He is a junior.
Yes, it's actually Ipsa. So he's your true defensive center midfielder. Loves to sit deep and shade the back line and kind of ignite the attack with calculated passing and vision. And he uses that vision on a defensive end to cover ground before attackers really make their run. So he very cerebral player who reads the game really well and may lack a little bit of the athletic ability that some players in that role may have, but what he does possess is that vision. So it equalizes any knock on speed or quickness that he may or may not have. But he's also a very big guy, tall guy. So something that we kind of lack in the clubhouse in that center defensive midfield role.
Yeah.
But he was voted MIAC All Conference team in 2017.
All right. Next up is Bernard Sibi Rule. He is more on the attacking side for a central mid, right? From UW Green Bay, another Green Bay product.
Another Green Bay product. He's a freshman this year, and Bernard is the definition of an attacking midfield player. He has speed, he has vision, he got a little bit of bag of tricks, and he has ability to finish with both feet. So basically the ideal player to sit behind a target striker or come in from a wing, but we see him more coming in behind the target striker. As you mentioned, Green Bay product. He actually transferred from Marquette University after a short redshirt year, and he's poised to kind of light the U23s on fire. I think this guy's going to be one that we're really going to be excited about once we talk about the end of the season.
All right. Next up is Esteban Vidilla from Anoka Ramsey Community College. He is a sophomore, another attacking mid.
Esteban actually is coming back to us. He initially was announced as a development player last year, but he chose to join VSLT. It was offering him a better opportunity to gain minutes in the MPSL.
That's fair.
Well, he's back with us, and we feel he made the right decision, of course. The best way to describe him is a young version of Ben Wexler. He's short, he's stocky, exceptionally talented in tight spaces with the ball, and he's always willing to get the attack started, which is, those like attacking minded igniter type players are ones that we've kind of been in short supply of. So it's awesome to have a guy like Bernard and a guy like Esteban at a younger age getting into the mix so that we can elevate them, over the course of a few years.
That's great. Those kind of guys are super fun to watch. Like I said last season, I always liked it when Ben was on the field. I didn't think he was played enough. I thought he was definitely a catalyst when he was out there. So it'll be good to have a couple of these guys coming up with the team and trying to develop the next Ben Wexler. Next up, center midfielder Arthur Perrins from Gustavus, junior at Gustavus this year.
So Arthur, he plays more in an attacking-minded role for Gustavus, but we see him more like that number 8 role, kind of something like similar to what Martin Brown plays.
All right.
So being that true connector in the middle of the field, and he's a fantastic connector. He has the ability to score goals as well as goals that he sets up for himself or ones that others provide him the opportunities. But as a junior, he's had a fantastic college career so far. Actually fully recovered from a broken leg that ended his MIAC season early at the end of the regular season. But his accolades really do speak for themselves. He scored 20 goals over 3 seasons. And being named MIAC All Conference in 2017, and like Matt Murakami, his teammate, making the All North Region second team last year, and then in 2016 he was also named MIAC All Conference. So definitely someone who can connect, but can also score some goals.
That's a lot of goals.
Yeah, it is. Over 3 years, 20 goals from a midfielder is a lot of goals.
That's pretty good for a midfielder.
Right.
Next up is Lionel Vang. He is a center midfielder from Augsburg University. He's a sophomore this year.
Lionel is a very much so a box to box center midfielder. So basically, what we're saying is he's a guy who he's going to cover a lot of ground, and he brings offense from that position, much like does Arthur. So in his college setting, he's, like I said, he's more of an attacking minded player. But for City, we really see him being relied upon as the engine, which is always someone who covers a ton of ground, like I mentioned, to help kind of build the attack from multiple areas of the field. But he's very possession focused, while not kind of skipping that chance to make that killer forward pass to his attackers, which is, again, something that we kind of miss a little bit. So super awesome to have him in 34 career matches at Augsburg. He's got 13 goals and 3 assists. And he most recently was named MIAC All Conference for the second season. So both seasons he's been at Augsburg, he's been on the All League team.
Again, another center midfielder that can score goals. That's a bonus as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, on to the guys that are more on the outside edges of the field. We talked about the guys in the middle. Let's talk about the guys that get into the attack from the flanks. We'll start with Ken Love Sloan. Ken Love from North St. Paul.
Might be the coolest name that we have in all of the land.
That's for sure.
Ken Love's your true ringer. Again, he's a senior in high school. Another young player that comes to us via the open trial. He was at the winter open trial, and another one that we're really glad that came to us. He is in the same spot with most of the high school guys that we've already mentioned, in that this is the first year to get him used to the game at this level, as with an eye towards the future. Very much so, kind of cut from the same cloth as Goose, where he's similar. He's kind of more reliant on maybe being a natural left footer, and there's not too many of those out there, but looks to get the ball and cut in and create for himself. But I mean, super talented guy. Again, like I said, naturally left-footed winger, tons of pace, bags of tricks, can finish. And he recently was voted All Metro in Minnesota, and he was a finalist for Mr. Soccer this year.
Oh, sweet. Next up, Avi Eller. Is it Avi? I'm going to assume it's Avi.
It's Avi.
Avi Eller. From Columbia University, John. He's a freshman. Is this the Columbia University in New York, New York?
Yes, it's not like when we talk about Northwestern and we have to define which one it is. It's the Columbia University in New York. And Avi's a freshman. Another former All-Metro player. And Avi is about as dynamic as they come. He is lightning quick. He operates as a winger. When I talk to his college coach, that's kind of his preferred position. Mm-hmm. But can also play as a number 9 up top if you're looking for just straight pace out of a forward, with the ability to score some goals. But he also can play in number 10. But he really does his damage from the outside, like I mentioned. Making the move from high school, he found it really hard to kind of crack into a veteran lineup, which I mentioned with a couple of these guys. But with Columbia, he did feature in 7 matches with a pair of starts in his first year. And early indicators is that he's one to look at that could potentially make that jump and once he gets some regular minutes to push for some time with the NPSL team in the not distant future.
Nice. Next up for a winger is Vic Vera, another sweet name. Another UW Parkside player. He is a redshirt junior.
Yes, that is correct. And Vic is the type of winger that you want on your team. One that's always looking to go forward, but willing to track back and put the work in defensively. And he can finish too, which is great.
So that sounds like Will.
Yep. It's almost like you read my mind, Nate.
I did. I did read your mind. Are you freaked out?
No, I'm good. I'm used to it by now. So anyways, very much so like Will Kidd. And like constant motor, never give up attitude, total try hard. Like it's good to have another one of those type of guys in the house. He's in his second year at Parkside, and he started 17 out of 29 matches and has scored 4 goals. And one of the things that he has is the ability to whip in a cross from the outside, which is sure to set the table for the strikers that will go over in a bit for the squad this summer.
Nice. Next up, Josh Paris. Another Luther College product. He's a graduate. He's already done.
Yep. Josh is done. He's one of the more senior players we have on the squad for the summer. And he came to us, like you mentioned, from Luther College this past off season. Actually, during our Open Cup run, he came out And but due to injury, he was limited to just training with the team.
Oh, for real?
But a little bit unfortunate. We could have used another guy like him in the Open Cup run. Very much so like a shorter version of a guy like Nick Hutton, who has dynamic movement and like sprinter class speed and like the motor to add on top of it. In this summer, you're going to see Josh lighting up the stat sheet. Not only just with his ability to play soccer, but pure athleticism and grit is kind of his MO. And it's something that you just need, on a team, specifically on a wing.
Yeah. And last on our wingers, from De La Salle High School, this would be Adam Pribble's young Padawan, Jimmy Farah.
Yep, Jimmy is another guy that you might remember from last year, as he was a development player. But like you said, out of De La Salle High School, and really looking to make the jump this year. Due to injury, his kind of highly anticipated senior season was cut real short. I think he only featured in 9 games. But fully healthy and really ready to make an impact with regular game minutes. And, he's one of those wingers, again, who, much like Ken Love, is where he looks to cut in and get his opportunities on goal that way. But also featured as a striker in high school. But we see him being more a wing player with us.
Great. Because we got strikers, man. On to the front one. We got strikers on strikers. Well, we have 3 strikers. The first one is Ben Keller. He is from Luther College, another Luther guy. He is a sophomore.
Yes. Ben is blessed with size. He is 6'5". So
Jesus.
it's pretty big for a striker. He's the type of target forward that midfielders kind of dream about when they're whipping crosses in, or the ones they look for to kind of hold up the play when the ball's kind of coming through the middle.
Yeah.
But the thing with Ben is that he's not just a target guy. He's also a finisher, and he has great movement for a big man. In his first season seeing extended time this past year in college, he led the team with 11 goals and 5 assists in 20 matches, which he featured. So his intangibles are something that will lend itself well when the coaching staff wants to kind of provide a different look up top. So he can win balls in the air, but he can also create with his feet.
All right. Josh De La Rosa, that name sounds familiar. He's from Bethel University, so he's worked with Matt and with Jeremy. But why does that name sound familiar?
The name sounds familiar because City folks remember the name Josh De La Rosa because he was the former VSLT forward who Matt Elder actually was sent off after a challenge in our first match against him last season. And he chose to switch sides this year, and we're really glad to have him. He unfortunately tore his ACL in the 3rd game of his college season this past year.
I heard about that. Jeremy told me about that.
And it kind of Josh is a really good forward. He's a really, really good soccer player, and kind of chips all in for Bethel and Jeremy on him to help carry them in the MIAC season, and it just didn't happen in his 3rd year. But we're really looking at him to get fully rehabbed, get fully healthy, and push for minutes when he is healthy. Not only on the U23s, but also like a guy like all these guys, like I mentioned. Trying to get some of those minutes with the MPSL side. I mean, he's proven at the MPSL level with VSLT, so it's only really a matter of time once he gets fully healthy and gets that confidence back to really do his thing again after he hurt his knee.
So the next guy, again, another name that sounds familiar, Tyler Limmer. He's from Northwestern College in Iowa. He's a sophomore. Why does Tyler Limmer sound familiar?
Well, Tyler featured last season with the Sioux Falls Thunder of the NPSL North. And he's a very quiet guy, but he's a stone cold killer in front of the net. Much like Josh Josh De La Rosa, he saw City as kind of a better pathway to playing at the next level. And that's not a knock on these other teams. They do a good job at what they do, but we've seen in the not too distant past that we are a proven ground for getting guys to a higher level of soccer. Mm-hmm. So, when I talk about being a stone cold killer in front of the goal, in 2 seasons at Northwestern College, which is in the GPAC, which features Hastings College, the powerhouse that Nick Hines plays for.
Yep.
He's in 38 games. He started 30 matches, notching 25 goals and 9 assists in only 2 seasons. So
that's a good rate.
The guy can finish. So, it's only a matter of time until he adjusts into, our setup and gets his legs, fully under him with us, that we may see him sneaking into some MPSL time as well.
So every once in a while, you used to say this last season that like, and Adam would always bring this up too if we'd hang out after a game, or go to Tracy's for a burger or something, and he would always talk about how there are always players that sneak up to you. You would say this, that would like sneak up to you after the games from other teams and be like, "Hey, can I be on your team next year instead?" Even if they beat us. So I guess my question is, without naming any names, are some of those players on this team?
They're not actually.
Oh,
yeah. So,
hey, so we're poaching anyway, poaching the kids.
No, man, zero poaching. And I'm not really a big fan of that. You know, if I really want a guy, and he's within their team,
yeah,
I will reach out and I'll just ask how they're doing, if they're happy where they're at. But it's very rare that ever happens.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I talked about it at the open tryout. We had we're going over the number now. We're over 300 people that have reached out to us about playing with us over the past 3 years. So it's usually around 100, if not more than 100, each season. And these are just two guys that you know, look at our setup and they really identify it as a pathway to good soccer. And, you know, we didn't win the league last year, you know, that didn't happen. But you don't always have to win the league to showcase that your organization prepares guys for the next step.
Right on.
So, so these are guys that identified that, and we're really glad to have them in. And, you know, we really look for them to do some great things, not only this year, but in the future years. So,
John, who of these guys are you most excited about? Like, is there someone that you were just like, thank God we fucking got him?
You know, Avi Eller is one. I mean, why don't we go down the list? You know, Luke, I'm really glad Luke Anderson came back with us in net. I think we saw him in training last year. A lot of the guys would say like, oh, that, you know, that young keeper's pretty good. Mm-hmm. And you know, he didn't play a lot this year, so giving him an opportunity to fight, you know, for minutes with the other with Troy and Quinn, you know, it breeds competition. But I'm excited to see Luke come in. From a defensive standpoint, you know, seeing the pairing of Mike Riley and Jake Meyer again. You know, we saw it when we would scrimmage against MTA, but actually seeing them play for you is better, you know, instead of having to face them. So I'm really looking forward to that. You know, from a center midfield standpoint, super excited again to have Aiden in. You know, he's a guy that we identified as almost being there last year when he came out and played with us. We just didn't have a spot for him. But now this year that we do, I'm so glad he's coming back. You know, you look at a connector like Arthur, you know, that a guy that can score, you know, 20 goals in a couple of years out of the center midfield spot. That's something to be excited about. Yeah. And then you look at your attacking players. You know, all three of our forwards, I think, offer something different, and all are proven finishers, which is something that we haven't had a consistent scoring threat. You know, that's not to knock any of our forwards that we've had in, but I mean,
it's just been a problem from
day one. I mean, look at Andy Laurie. Andy Laurie plays professional soccer now, and you know, he didn't really finish at a consistent rate for us in our first year. So, you know, again, it's no knock on those guys, just that we haven't seen it, and you know, we have a better opportunity with these younger players. You know, our strikers and a guy like Avi Eller and Bernard. Those guys can finish, and it's super exciting to see those guys. And you get guys like you know, like Vic and Josh on the wings, you know, and even Ken Love as a young high school kid. I mean, I'm really excited about all of them, Nate. I could say, like, I've said good things about all of them, and it's all true.
So much potential here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk real quick about Arthur, because you mentioned, and we kind of were like, whoa, 20 goals over 3 seasons out of the midfield. Is that like from set pieces, or is this a kid that's just always looking to find some space and take a rip at it?
Well, I think a lot of them were like late trailing runs that came in. I mean, I watched quite a few of my games this year, and in the games I did see of his, there was a few, set piece goals. There was a couple from distance, but a lot of it was trailing in behind the play and just and finding those pockets where he can hit a one-time shot through traffic. And he's got fantastic placement of the ball, and he's got a really really high work rate. So a lot of rebound type goals he would just pounce on, coming in late from the midfield.
Nice. All right. So another question for you, man. Like, we've got all these guys, they're ready to play. What kind of schedule can we expect out of the U23 team? Do we have things in the works? I know we're probably going to be playing the Bug Eaters away with the U23 squad, but where else and who else are they going to be going up against?
Well, that is something that I'm not privy to talk about yet, other than the fact that they will be going away to Nebraska to play against the Bug Eaters this summer. But there's some games that are scheduled. Like I said, we can't really announce it yet, but we will get there. And we're also looking at opportunities for them to play in maybe some tournaments that are either in town or out of town.
All right.
So it's kind of in flux right now, but we're looking at most likely a 9-game schedule, so 1 a week instead of 2 a week, and then the ability to do a little bit of travel as well. So it's not all going to be home games.
All right. Well, that's good to know. So we talked to Matt a few weeks ago, but we've been able to kind of get his take on how excited he is about this roster. I think there are a couple choice quotes I'd like to touch on. First of all, he thinks and he's excited about the U23s being this unique blend of D1 players, standout D2 and D3 players, playing alongside some of the best high school players that Minnesota has to offer. So not only will these older guys be competing for the NPSL roster, they're also going to be setting this high standard for the younger high school players. Like, how many levels of, I don't want to say excellence, but how many levels of development do we have on display here? And how great is that for these juniors in high school, these seniors in high school?
Well, I mean, you have the opportunity through a team like this to, one, it gives these guys a place to play in the summer. It's not men's league, right?
Right.
And that's kind of the goal. And the secondary goal is we just found so many damn options that we had, and we only had like 26 spots for our MPSL team. We're like, we got to figure out how to get them in. So, you find a home for them, and then, you select the roster, and then you start to look at it, and you get Division I players. You have Jake Meyer, who was in the setup in the national runner-up for the College Cup. So you have a guy like him. You have a guy like Mike Riley from Loyola who plays at in a perennial conference title hunter at Loyola, and then you go down into the Division II ranks and you see guys that are coming through at a UW Parkside, and then you look at NAIA and you look at Division III, and you're looking at teams that have had success. So then you throw into that some high school players that are looking to make the next jump. So although it's not like a seasoned veteran roster, you're getting guys that have played a mix of higher level soccer who can still teach the younger guys kind of what it takes to get to the level that they want to get to next. Yeah. And then for the guys that are in college, they're going to be doing some dual trainings throughout the season with the MPSL team. And then it's going to be like guys getting advice from people like Martin and Wexler, and AO and Trey, and, telling them about, what it takes to get to that level, and, thinking about the game different ways. And, we talked to Hoof about it too, where it's like, even him as going into his senior year in college, like he's still learning from guys that he plays with on the MPSL team, every day that he steps on the field with them. So this is an opportunity for all the guys in this roster to not only learn from each other, whether it's the younger guys learning more about the game and different ways to think and to execute, but also the older guys learning a little more leadership roles at a younger age.
Well, that's what you got to expect, right? Like you can't expect to stack a U23 team full of world beaters. That's just unrealistic.
Well, we did.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like the point is like these guys are here to develop. We're not going to just throw them out and expect them to succeed right off the bat, even though they probably will. Really, this is the first step in the long-term development plan you've put together to really create a system within Minneapolis City that provides the NPSL team with higher quality players year after year.
Right, and like when you talk about like success, it really is a tough indicator. Like we don't really know what to expect, right? Like we have to quickly. We found this in year one. We had to quickly get a full roster of players on the same page at a short period of time, and then like every week in the beginning of the season, like Samo comes back, and a couple weeks later, Sam Forsgren's here. It's like you just keep throwing these guys into the mix, and it gets hard to get cohesion.
Yeah.
But luckily we have a good mix of in-town guys and out-of-town guys, so we can start building a base, and then we can supplement that as more guys come in. But I don't know what to expect. I know they're all good at soccer, and it's going to be a little bit on Matt and his coaching staff and to get these guys to perform. But it's also, like you said, about development. So like say they go and they win every game, awesome. But say they go and they have a losing record, but if we develop them and we built a system to make them better, for their colleges, that only helps our recruiting network, and it only helps us get better for the future. So it's weird for me to say that, not having on the field success maybe is not an indicator, but it actually is. It's something that I think we need to look at, that as long as this team is truly doing what we set it out to do, that's success. Wins and losses tossed aside.
Yeah, right on. So the response, of course, to the announcement for this U23 team amongst the fans, amongst players, of course, that want to be on it has been incredible. Like you've said, overwhelming number of players have reached out to us. What can fans and interested people expect out of this team this year? Like, what's your play style you're hoping Matt brings to them? You obviously have built the team for something with something in mind, and to me it feels like a lot of awesome attacking from all across the field, with a couple of midfielders in the middle that can really control the pace of the game. Is that accurate?
It's 100% accurate. And if you were kind of picking up what we were putting down as we were going through each guy and kind of their attributes and the specific positions we're looking at them to play, the style of play is going to mirror what we're going to be doing at the NPSL level. And that's kind of for two reasons. One, for on a need base, if someone goes down with an injury, we have a player that we can pull in.
Yeah.
And we have a couple different options, not only on the bench of the NPSL team, but also on the on the U23 team. So that's kind of number one. And number two is just making sure that we have we have the right cocktail for the style of play that we like to play. And, not just saying it has to mirror, we have to have a right back that's just like AO and a left back that's just like Nick Hines. It's more of style of play. Mm-hmm. So guys that like to attack, guys that are composed on the ball, guys that can finish, like all the different attributes that make up a good soccer team. We still try to build that, and we try to make sure that it's good across all levels. And like you said, we have a lot of good attacking players, and they're coming out of all different areas. So I would anticipate lots of goals and just exciting soccer.
Nice, man. Hey, so I guess last point before we close out. I don't know how to frame this, but like you said, if someone goes down for an injury or something at the senior level, how does that decision get made? And like, is there any sort of paperwork or anything like that you'll have to fill out between? Are these guys all rostered technically within the NPSL? Are we going to have to create sort of like a 40-man roster like they have in baseball? So there's like a few of them that are ready to go up and down. How does that work?
I guess to go back to your schedule question, there's no real defined U23 league that we found suitable for
right.
Year one. So we're playing a non-league schedule. So we don't have the rules that we have with being in an affiliated league, mm-hmm. where we have to like have set things and whatnot. But with the NPSL, we absolutely do. And so we're really pushing these guys to get their paperwork in. If you're and you're on the roster, get that paperwork in. Because what we'd like to do is have these guys all cleared through the NPSL, so that when we need to add them to the roster, it's a simple button click online and submitting the right paperwork. So it can be very fluid, and it doesn't have to be, carrying a piano around every time we want to try to get a guy moved up quickly.
What? What kind of metaphor is carrying a piano around?
Heavy lifting, man.
Oh. Oh, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah. When's the last time you tried to move a piano?
It's been years, man.
And it sucked, didn't it?
It totally sucked. All right. Well, if people want to see more of these guys or read more about them, will the team be putting up the U23 roster online?
Yes, eventually we'll get everything up online. But until then, we encourage you to obviously to digest what you heard today.
Hit rewind and write it down.
Yeah, rewind and write it down. We will get it out online. We kind of prematurely. We were just so excited to get we got the roster finalized yesterday, so we were just prematurely like, man, we gotta announce these guys, and we're going through the process of announcing the MPSL team right now online, and we thought, what better way to supplement that than use the podcast as our medium. But we'll also be, you'll probably see some of these guys popping up on Twitter, talking about the fact that they have a home this summer, over the next, couple weeks and months as they get done with the spring finals and they finish up for the year before they come home to us. So that's also an outlet that you can check some of these guys out. But I mean, by and large, you just run down the best players in the MIAC and we have most of those guys. And then and look at your Mr. Soccer finalists over the last few years. They're on this roster as well.
All right. Well, exciting, man. Of course, I'm so excited to see what these guys do over the next season, but more excited to see what they do over the next 2-3 years for Minneapolis City. That is all for tonight's show. Thank you, as always, to our sponsor, Summit Brewing. Maibach, the Summit Maibach is finally out, and it is delicious. I always love a Maibach from Summit. It is a fantastic blend. Sure to help you ignite the fire inside every soccer supporter. So
wow, you did a real bad job of that one.
Yeah, there were some missing words in that write-up, but that's okay. Let's get to the tap room or your local bar or liquor store. Try yourself something new or curl up next to your old friend Summit Maibach. Memberships for 2018 are so much damn bang for the buck. You got to make sure you get yours because we've offered some early pricing. That is, of course, long gone, but you want to make sure to sign up ASAP. Right now it's $65 according to the Minneapolis City website. It'll get you a cool season pass to every upcoming city matches this summer, including the NPSL and all games that these U23 gentlemen you just heard of will be playing. Get you that fancy new membership scarf, and of course the vote to help make what the team created your own. Hey, do you like helping people? We do. Helping people sometimes comes with a cost, and we need your support. If you're looking to align yourself with a fine group that loves to give back, you are in luck. We, of course, are a 501c3 that does good on and off the pitch. We're going to be out on the town this week with a great event at the downtown Big Brother, Big Sister program. It'll be tomorrow night, Wednesday night. We're going to have both coaches and some players out running the bigs and littles through some soccer drills, some soccer plays, some soccer games. It is sure to be as fantastic as it was last year. That looked like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
If you want to get a hold of us, we've made it, of course, as easy as possible. Thanks to Twitter, the magic of Twitter, you can send us a note at The People's Pitch or email us at mcscpodcast@gmail.com. All questions, comments, and concerns are welcomes. As always, hit the club up at MPLS City SC if you want to troll them. That is all for this week. We're going to leave you again with our house MC, the one, the only, Sweden-bound Miles Stockman Willis goes by the stage name Malaise with a track called No Heart. I am Nate. That has been John. You are the people. Until next time, make sure to hold the gift of soccer within your ribcage next to your heart.
Yeah,
Mason just fuck your bitch.
215's one big enclosure. How I get my closure? Become a composer. I don't need exposure, but I need a mower. Always off the ogre. Shrek with extra odor. About the bullshit. I'm a bulldozer. Say it straight face. No, I ain't playing poker. Me, myself, and I was born a loner. Never had a heart. I'm no ordinary organ donor. money magnet. Man, I'm about to bag these maggots, mainly from the brainy magic, causing racket with no ratchet. I don't talk much, all about the action. Fuck my parents' house, trapping, trying to make the Hamptons happen. Get an A on the report like Voldemort, deporting bodies. You were hot, now you're not. Cool, guess you were wasabi, blasting off like a rocket hourly, like it's a hobby. Win the league like Taco, all you hear is Bravo. Call me Johnny, I'm a bachelor. Never been to Tommy Johnny, flow far from your average Joe, so my bitch is bad as Bonnie. Took a tab and dent my mind, retinas colorized, seeing crystal clear, crystallized fears near my spine's rear, staying clear of what's not myself, mesmerizing mirrors, humbling, niggas mumbling, they need to hit a deer, their position's clear, mine resides in all Poseidon's peers, my career's guided, driven by some gilded gears, cheers. 215's one big enclosure, how I get my closure, become a composer, I don't need exposure, but I need a mower, always off the ogre, Shrek with extra odor, about the bullshit, I'm a bulldozer, say it straight face, no I ain't playing poker, me, myself, and I was born a loner, never had a heart, I'm no ordinary organ donor, rocking the golden fleece, so don't try me, asking God why me, 3 times wearing Y3s, 3 minutes, 3 dots, he's replying, he said these rappers need to start dying, boy I gave you the gift to bust off, dapper young boss, tough soft toss, so knock that rust off, remember hard bars by far on the bus stop, now hider or lost stealer, you can't make this bus stop, depressed in my hut, I admit in a rut, still living good on the edge like brownie crust, trying to make a claim to fame, when you make that claim it's sus, I'm a game changer, on a game breaker, give it up, are you impressed or so, at peace never stressed at home, motto is progress or go, heart cold as a Eskimo, damn these niggas desperate, I'm a hero like Despero, bully-proof and fully grown, gooned up eating escargot, writing like I'm Edgar Poe, got the process of a pro, show you how to flex a flow, records ready set in stone, think confetti should be thrown, riding through black rims, big blunt like a blimp, balling hard, get a glimpse, well-mannered, natured pimp, so I touch her fish koi, tell that bitch quick, throw her D's on this rich boy, make her turn around cause she know that I got the voice, don't wanna hear you speak, less 10 G's on the invoice, 215's one big enclosure, how I get my closure, become a composer, I don't need exposure, but I need a mower, always off the ogre, Shrek with extra odor, about the bullshit, I'm a bulldozer, say it straight face, no I ain't playing poker, me, myself, and I was born a loner, never had a heart, I'm no ordinary organ donor.